Welcome to Wani. With us today, we have Hate Eternals mastermind, chief songwriter, and amazing producer, Erik Rutan. How you doing, Erik?
Great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good now. First of all, how's your left hand now? I mean, it was unfortunate that, and you guys had to pull off because of your injury. How's it now? Has it recovered?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's man, it's been a slow process
Hmm.
actually. It's been pretty frustrating because it's I usually heal pretty quick, but this was kind of a major injury. My pinky and ring finger on my left hand, they've just been slowly healing. It's been a month now, and it's definitely getting much better. I started um, playing guitar again and stuff this week, but it's
Nice.
still I'm going through therapy and just getting back to motion and stuff. I really jammed it pretty bad. But this has been a good week for me because I've slowly seen progress. So
Hmm.
for the first few weeks, it just seemed like it wasn't healing. So I was obviously frustrated and concerned, but it's starting to get better now. And I started going through therapy, and the
Good.
doctor says within a few more weeks I should be back up and running 100%. So
Awesome,
it's
awesome.
doing better.
That's cool because I didn't know that this is way too serious that it almost made it much worse in terms of taking more time.
Oh yes, I didn't. The doc said when I first, he's a specialist, and when I first went to him, he said could be 3 to 4 weeks,
Hmm.
could be 6 to 8 weeks, and everybody heals differently.
Right.
But it being my left hand, my fretting hand, of
Hmm.
course, I was worried, that
Yeah.
guitar is my life, and it made me definitely realize a few things. One, that I need to be much safer with what the hell I'm doing, and and
Right.
and two, like you never realize, like, man, all it takes is the wrong type of accident and injury to end it all. So it made me definitely a little bit more aware of I got to be a little bit more careful, and but it's been frustrating, because I have to build up, getting the flexibility, with my fingers and my hands and
Right.
whatnot. So it's been a challenge, but this week has been great progress and starting therapy, and in a couple weeks I think I'll be right back up, just feeling great. So it's been a good week this week, though. I'm
Awesome. Awesome. I'm
feeling
glad to hear that because just
yeah.
few weeks are left for the release of Infernus. I mean, you and the other guys definitely must be very excited to unleash this monster to your fans.
Ah, oh yes, yeah. I'm very excited about our new record, and man, I've been very pleased with the response that we've had from everybody, and we worked really hard on this record, man, to
Mhm.
try to deliver the best that we could, and I really, really feel like that we gave all we had to make this special record.
Absolutely, because I got a copy of it, and I was like, I mean, first and foremost, the fans are definitely going to be very pleased with it. But what's so amazing about this is I feel that it's the fastest. I mean, Jesus Christ, the fucking riffs, man. I mean, this is what death metal is all about.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. Well, that I can't ask for much more than that. That's for sure. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Now, thanks to the jaw-dropping performance by your new, drum basher, Chason Westmoreland. I mean, even though I felt that the new material is very challenging and there's a lot going on, this guy, came up with that visceral, insane feeling on drums and boom, delivered it.
Yeah, he's chasing. He is an absolute monster on the drum kit, and that's why we chose him. He came down over a year ago to try out, and he was here for like a week, I think. And
Hmm.
you know, the regiment that I put drummers through is pretty intense. I mean, I we jam with him on songs, and then I mic up the drum kit in the studio and have him play along to different tempos and stuff, and then also play along to the click and scratch guitars for
Hmm.
songs, and then record them. And I put him through some pretty intensive regimes. So the he passed with flying colors. I mean, like I knew from seeing the video of him, I was like, wow, this guy's really talented. He's got an incredible power and authority behind the drum kit. But I also know Hate Eternal is a different animal. You know, it's
Right.
a very hard band to play, and you know,
True.
it's hard music. And but Chason came here for a week, and by the end of the week, JJ and I knew that he was the man, and he's got this primal kind of visceral energy to him.
Energy to it, right.
Yeah, I really feel like one thing I'm really happy about is I feel like the new Hate Eternal really captures that energy that he possesses. And, you know, the drums are the foundation of any record. And
Right.
Once we laid down the foundation with the drums and moved on to everything else, man, I just knew that we were gonna really make something special. And he's doing great. We get along great. We've been having we had a great time on this tour, and looking forward to doing more touring together, and just continuing on with Hate Eternal.
That's awesome. Tell you what, there was a video which came out on Sick Drummer when you guys played at Pathogenic Apathy at, I don't know, I don't remember, but one of your recent shows, I think it was on this Metal Alliance show, where they captured the drum video, I mean, the drum cam of him playing. And there's one section towards the end, it's something around 4 minutes mark, where he played something different and you turned back and acknowledged it. And that was like, everybody in the YouTube comments are like, boom, the master Erik Rutan approves.
Oh man, there's definitely times like on stage or even in the studio that like I would just look over at him and just be like, you know, hell yeah, man. Like he continues to impress me, which is awesome because I'm not easily impressed. So, you know,
Right.
he's been man, he's just a great drummer and a great guy, and he has so much energy, man, and he really brings that to the table with Hate Eternal. I feel like Hate Eternal with Chason in it is it's just this really kind of energetic
The strongest lineup of Hate
energy.
Eternal.
You know, I mean, listen, I've enjoyed all the lineups and everybody that I've had in the band. I've been so fortunate to have some amazing members, you know. I mean, from the beginning to now, I've played. But honestly, from the beginning of my whole career, from Ripping Corpse to Morbid Angel to Hate Eternal, I mean, I've played with nothing but the best musicians
Right.
I could have possibly ever asked for. And that tradition keeps going on in my career where I'm just surrounded by top-notch musicians. And I guess I have good taste for musicians because, man, I've just been playing with the best for 25 years.
Yes.
And then I'm so very grateful to have had the opportunities to play with such talented musicians.
Amazing, definitely. But it's not just the the drums which Jason has put. It's the songwriting here, which I felt is your strongest since I Monarch. I mean, people should get really excited about this album. The reason being that, I mean, you guys have said that, that standard of mind-blowing physicality of modern death metal. But then again, you rely on those catchy traditional songcraft. And that's what I love about Infernus, is that how you maintain the right balance between what you guys are aiming for plus explore something different on each album.
You know, that's important to me too, is trying to always expand musically what we do, but keep true to the roots of what we are, which is a death metal band. And
Right.
I always feel like for myself that, I mean, I've done I don't know how many albums now. I lost track as far as I've done 6 Hate Eternal records and
Stu Morbid Angel.
and Morbid Angel and and Ripping Corpse and whatnot. And the thing is that I always feel like I have more untapped resource. Like I always feel like I have so much more to give, and I still feel that way. But within Infernus, man, we had so much time to work on it because it took us a while to find Chason.
Right.
And so JJ and I were really picky about the songwriting. I think we started probably, 15 or 16 songs, and we really just honed in on the songs that we felt represented Hate Eternal at this juncture in time. And something to me that's always been important is songwriting. Is
Right.
I think that sometimes that gets overlooked in extreme death metal. Is the songwriting. And what I always loved about death metal, besides the intensity and the aggression and whatnot, was the songwriting. To me, Morbid Angel is a perfect example of a band that not only excelled in intensity and and everything else. But I mean, the songs,
Right.
they're just so memorable. And that's something that's always been important to me with Hate Eternal, is trying to create, I guess, a controlled chaos,
Right.
because Hate Eternal obviously is pretty chaotic. But
Definitely.
with melody and other elements formulated into a really structured song, that's something that's always been important to me. And I think sometimes people lose sight of how important the song is. The song to me is more important than anything.
That's right, because you guys, I mean, I assume that you guys don't care about those year-end plaudits or no drifting listener preferences, but you guys solely, I mean, keep focus on that vision which you have, and I mean, be it lyrics and be the iconography, it has always revolved around power and self-sufficiency. So what's Infernus offering in terms of the artwork? It's mind blowing. So, for you being the main songwriter and the visionary person, what exactly were you trying to convey with that artwork?
It's we had worked with Paul Romano for 3 albums and a DVD,
Hmm.
and Paul is doing huge things with his art now, man. He's doing art galleries and kind of moved on into a whole lot of stuff for himself, which he rightfully deserves. He's an amazing artist, and it was a pleasure to work with him for all those years.
Hmm.
When we decided to work with someone else, and we were looking at different artists, Alarin, I just saw a couple. The Psy cover, this band Psy, I saw a cover he did, and
Hmm.
it kind of had like a Renaissance period approach to his work, I felt like, and I
Hmm.
really enjoy art from that era. And I've always liked paintings and kind of that type of approach with their covers, and I just felt like he would do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
when I contacted him, um, and started just loosely telling him about the inspiration behind the album and
Right.
concepts, and sent him some lyrics and songs, and he just really took off from it. I gave him some ideas as far as like what art I like, just ranging in different artists and things like that. And
Hmm.
he came up with this concept that I thought was just awesome. And then visually, when he started sending me like the progress, it just was blown away by the amount of detail he put in there. And
That's right.
um, one artist I really liked is Hieronymus Bosch, and that was a big influence of I think of the inspiration behind the
Infernus.
cover artwork. And you know, it he he is one of the most like thorough, intense artists I've ever met. And man, I want to say he worked probably 4 months on that cover. And
Wow.
when he delivered the cover, man, I was just blown away at the amount of effort and work and detail he put
Detailing.
into it.
Hmm.
And it just comes to life, the art, man. To me, I could not be more excited about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys, your dedication to your approach. I mean, be it the way you guys, write these riffs, or the BPMs you maintain, or the murderous dissonance. And then again, seeing you guys live with precision is something which is, very rare when it comes to how a band sounds on a CD and then sounds live. So this is kind of proven both as an asset and an albatross, for Hate Eternal. Do you feel, I mean, do you even feel there's a room for improvement?
Always room for improvement. I mean, the thing is that the minute that you feel like you know everything, or the minute that you feel like you're the best, is the
Hmm.
minute that you start digressing.
Right.
Not only in your craft or your art, but in life in general. So for me, um, I say that being kind of a perfectionistic, workaholic kind of person. But at the same time, realistically speaking, it's like there's always room for progress. There's always going to be growth when you have that kind of mentality, because to me, I always feel like I can do better no matter what. With Infernus, I say that's the best. I literally know that I got the best on everybody, including myself, in that moment in time. But that's that moment in time. I always feel like as I continue that I can achieve better. I expect that from from all the other bands that I produce in the studio. I mean, I work them to get the best I can from them at that moment in time.
Right.
But through over time, there's so much room for growth and learning, and I learn something new every day in the studio or on tour, and as a player, as a human being. And if you ever lose sight of that type of thought process, I think that's when you stunt your growth, and I never want to do that. I just want to get better and better at everything in life.
That's right. It's about the work ethic. I mean, you being the songwriter and the producer, as a fan, who's following you, I can sense that your faster, louder, and tighter ethos is driven by, let's say that unrelenting urge to push yourself beyond your own limits. More like a power lifter, or let's say an endurance athlete or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really what it is kind of, I always want to push the limits of what I'm capable of doing, because I feel like I think this way, especially now in my life, maybe because of my age or because of the amount of years I've been doing this, that if you put your mind to anything, you can achieve it. I mean, 8 years ago, or whenever I started playing guitar, and I was some teenage kid, wanting to learn Slayer riffs, learning guitar, sitting there saying, someday I'm going to have my own band and do records and tour the world and own my own studio and record my own band and friends of mine bands. Right. Those were the dreams of mine as a teenager. And, I've been able to make those dreams come a reality for decades now. And, it's to me, that it's so inspiring that I've been able to be fortunate enough to not only have one career in music, but two, and multiple facets of that. And right. It's so difficult to make it in this industry. And for me, I look at that as such a source of inspiration of like, I can achieve anything, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I always keep looking forward and keep positive on that front of, I can get better. I can be a better songwriter, a better musician, a better person, a better Absolutely. Producer, a better everything. And I kind of live my life that way, hoping for more progress in everything I do.
Awesome, Erik. That's really great. Now, like you said about the industry, what do you think about the current death metal scene? I mean, apart from, you're very good friends with Cannibal Corpse. I mean, Alex always tells me about, how amazing it feels to have you around. I mean, you've worked with them for so many albums. What do you feel about the current death metal scene? I mean, has it something which has gone wrong over the period of time, or it's still there and there's something which is still keeping it alive?
Well, first of all, working with Alex and Cannibal Corpse, Alex is one of my best friends. And all those guys, Cannibal Corpse, they're like family to me, man. We did 3 records together. And, Cannibal Corpse gave me a huge opportunity by allowing me to work with them for all those years. And I'm so proud of the records that we did together. And I learned so much for those experiences. And, to me, Cannibal Corpse is a perfect example of how death metal is still thriving. Cannibal Corpse, they have, 13 albums out now. Yeah. And they still continue to create amazing music and amazing records and progress musically. And, to me, they really are a perfect example of how death metal still thrives. When I think of Cannibal Corpse, they're really like at the top of their game. And, right. When I still think of like bands like Nile and Immolation and Deicide and Morbid Angel, they're still all going, man. We're still all here. And Christian, like I just produced Christian a couple months ago, and working with those guys, obviously, they've been doing Christian for like 25 years, man. They're still creating fascinating, incredible music and doing great records and have so much conviction and power. And it definitely, obviously, death metal has changed over the years, and there's a lot of progressive death metal and technical death metal. Mm-hmm. There's so much different approaches to death metal now, which is interesting, but it's definitely changed a lot. And the thing is that there's always certain bands that stand out or have longevity
Right.
And to me, those really are the bands that just continuously work hard and try to hone in on their craft to perfection and keep adding in other elements to improve. And that's why all these bands are still going strong, because they're just writing great music and you know, they still have a passion for it. It's just like me. I mean, I love death metal, man. I've been playing death metal for a long time, and I just don't see an end in sight for me. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine not playing this
Yeah.
form of music, man. I mean, you know, it's funny when you meet guys. Sometimes you meet guys, you know, like they're like, you know, yeah, I used to like metal back in the day, but I grew out of it. And to me, I always think that's just ridiculous. Like, how do you, like, I'll probably be 80 cranking, you know, Number of the Beast or something. I just love metal, period. So
Right.
it's hard for me to imagine never listening to metal ever. It's impossible. I love metal.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Now, in the talking about Morbid Angel, I mean, David is not there anymore. Tim has quit, so Steve is back, and I mean, he's promised that they're gonna create an epic death metal album. So, is there a possibility of you being with them in terms of as a producer?
Um, Man, you know what? As you know, I'm working with Steve and Warfather in the studio right now, and
Hmm.
have a blast with him. Steve's a great friend of mine, and then obviously my old bandmate Morbid Angel, and his record is heavy as hell. I mean, this Warfather record is an amazing album, and I do talk to Trey every once in a while. We keep in touch too, and you never know, man. I mean, I would love to produce a Morbid Angel record with those guys and work with them in that capacity for sure. And to me, I never, when it comes to Morbid Angel or Ripping Corpse or 80, you know, I never keep the door closed on any of that, because I mean, those are some of my proudest moments in life, you know,
Right.
playing with Morbid Angel. Um, Man, I played on 3 records. I toured for 4, and some of the most incredible memories in my whole career and my life are with Morbid Angel. So, you know, I'll always be here to help Trey and Steve and those guys, you know, as well as Pete and David, and you know, anything I could do to help Morbid Angel, I certainly would do so.
That's awesome, Eric. Now, what are the plans of touring by the time you recover and are good to go for touring? Is there anything plans? Because you promised your fans who couldn't see you because because of the injury that you will be touring in fall. So anything's planned for for this year?
Yeah, we're working on a U.S. tour in the fall, and then I think we're going to South America. We're looking at before the end of the year, and then we're working on trying to get to Europe in the springtime of 2016, and then probably going back to um, Southeast Asia and Asia, and hopefully Japan and Australia, and yeah, trying to tour everywhere we can, and you know, man, I'm after having this hand injury, I just starting to play guitar again, man. Is so like, man, I'll probably write a whole record in the next month. I'm so excited to not play guitar for weeks.
For
Is
weeks. Mhm.
so, I've only had to do that once when I got in the van accident many years ago, and I had my nerves were all whacked, and I had whiplash and chipped my vertebrae, and you know, I couldn't play for a while because I couldn't feel my limbs. It was
Mhm.
a bad moment, but this is only the second time I've ever had to go, you know, a few weeks without playing, so it's pretty crappy. So I'm pretty excited to actually even be playing basic stuff right now and getting back to jamming, and certainly looking forward to getting out and touring this new record, because I could not be more pleased with it. So looking forward to getting back on the road as soon as possible, starting
Awesome.
in fall.
That's great. Any plans of heading to India?
Oh man, I wish. I would love to go to India. You know, there has been some talk actually about possibly someone. I guess someone had approached us about coming, and listen, if I had the opportunity to bring Hate Eternal to India, I'd be there in a heartbeat. You know, so we've we've really been able to, in the last few years, we've really expanded into like where we play. You know, we've been to Dubai and South Korea,
Right.
and we played Malaysia and we, let's see, Indonesia
Hmm.
and Thailand, and um, man, we played some places Central America and South America. We went to Honduras and Nicaragua and Colombia.
Wow.
We've really been trying to expand our horizons on where we play, and certainly India. I hope we do get to India. I know we have fans there, and I would love to go to India. It would be a dream of mine to play there.
Awesome. I'll tell you what, it took Cannibal Corpse almost, more than 2 decades to come. They played here in April along with Suicide Silence, and I got to meet Alex after I think 5 years. I mean, we were in constant touch by email, and the moment I got to know they're coming, I mean, it was a dream come true. And you guys come over here and play for your fans. I mean, it's a death metal country, man. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's gonna be insane.
I do wonder because I eat a bunch of Indian food here in America, but of course I know that I'm sure food is different in India. The Indian food here I assume is kind of Americanized, maybe. But I would definitely, I love Indian food, so I'd probably I'd probably gain 10 pounds over there. But I certainly would. I would love to play there, man. It would be fantastic.
Absolutely, Eric. Now, before I conclude, how about you define Infernus in just one sentence?
Let's see. An intense emotional journey.
Wow.
That really is what covers it, I think.
Definitely. Be it, I mean, just 10 tracks, sometimes we feel that it's less in death metal because of the number of, the overall length of the album, but it's perfect. It's perfect.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Erik Rutan, thank you very much for spending some time. Folks, new album Infernus coming out where Season of Mist. I think it's coming out in late August, right?
Yes, August 21st.
August 24th, that's right. Pre-order it. It deserves to be in your collection. Erik Rutan, thank you once again. It's been an honor. And I'll just wait over here in India and, just hope that you guys come over here and play.
Thank you so much for the interview. And I hope more than anything that Hate Eternal is in India in our near future.